was dying. They chasing after that fame. All work could drive you insane, but it's hard to lose.
Hello everyone, it's your girl Regina Sunshine coming to you from what is always a beautiful day for me here in now Douglasville, Georgia with the Regina Sunshine Show. I'm here, well, I would say every Monday from 7 to 8:15, but as of October the 8th, I'll be moving back to my 12 noon time slot. But I'm always bringing you my version of Monday motivation, helping you get a Regina Sunshine state of mind. And I'm so excited. I have 4 amazing women that I want to introduce you guys to today. I guess it's kind of turned into a part of my Black Female Excellence series, even though I had not called it that. But anytime you have 4 excellent Black females in the room, it becomes Black Female Excellence Show. So I'm so excited for you guys to meet them. Before we even get started, I want to shout out my sponsors for today. A big shout out to Lanita Mitchell Blackwell with leadingthroughliving.com. Also, Bold Favor Media Group. You can find her at leadingthroughliving.com and also boldfavormagazine.com. For those who don't know, she is my business coach and a faithful supporter of all things Regina Sunshine. So a big shout out to her. And I do want to give a shout out to the owner of Studio T, Terry Searcy, for the opportunity to have Regina Sunshine Global Network in this building. It's just a reminder, I quit my job June 30th of this year. I'm full-time Regina Sunshine Global Network, and it's just a blessing to have a home, a place to house all of my dreams. And for those who don't know, we do a number of things out here. If you're looking to have your own show, we have shows out here. I teach classes out here, from talk show host coaching to public speaking for media, to motivational speaking, coaching, you name it, we do it out here at Regina Sunshine Global Network, as well as some youth classes we're getting ready to start next month. I had a number of parents that have young entrepreneurs that wanted me to teach some of the same classes the kids that I teach to adults. So starting next month, we're going to have talk show host coaching for kids, public speaking for kids, public speaking for media for kids. And that class I do want to mention specifically. It is my most requested class, Public Speaking for Media. That is for those people who want to know how to interview well. How, if you've been invited on a television show or a radio show or invited to be a part of a print article, how to give the responses that are effective in promoting your brand. There is a method to the madness. So again, that's Public Speaking for Media. But you can go to reginasunshine.com, get all the information about me and my classes and everything there. I do want to make a couple of announcements, and I know I'm a little bit off schedule, but I do want to mention a couple things. For those who don't know, I am the editor-in-chief of Bold Plus magazine, and we are going to Cuba next year. So if you want to travel with the Bold Plus team to Cuba, you can actually go to whiskeywineanddinetours.com. Those are the ladies that are hosting our trip, but you can also go on Facebook and look for our Bold Plus Cuba cruise page. So that'll be November of 2019. We're going to Cozumel and to Cuba. And if you don't know, right now Cuba is one of the top travel destination places. Also, like I said before, I'm the editor-in-chief of Bold Plus magazine. I took that position in December of this year. So October the 13th, we will be officially launching the 4th issue with me as editor-in-chief. On October the 13th at JR Crickett's MLK in Atlanta from 1 to 3, we will have the cover reveal for our 4th issue. And for those who don't know, we've already announced who's going to be on the cover, but nobody knows what the cover looks like. And it's pretty hot, right, Christine? Yes. The cover is pretty hot. But the cover of our fall issue is comedian Jen Thomas. And she is the founder of Big Girl Nation. Most of you may have heard the name because she just came off tour opening up for Cat Williams. She's a real popular female comedian. But we're so excited. When I tell you she took some beautiful pictures during our photo shoot, I can't wait for you guys to see the cover of this magazine. And for those who don't know, shout out to Lanita Mitchell Blackwell and everything she's doing with Bold Favor Magazine. Our first magazine, the one that I was the first magazine with me as editor-in-chief, our winter issue of Bold Plus magazine has over 53,000 impressions on issue.com, which is the #1 on-sale house, online house for magazines, for digital print. So shout out to Lanita and all the hard work. I can just imagine. That was our first one, Christine, 53,000 impressions so far. What's going to happen as we continue to grow and actually figure out what we're doing? Because Nita, I told you from the beginning, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm glad you trust me with your magazine, but I don't know what I'm doing. But we're having fun doing it. So you can definitely, guys, can come out. Great networking, free food, free admission, October the 13th from 1 to 3 at JR Cricket's MLK. And the last announcement I'm going to make is the newest show on Regina Sunshine Global Network, which is launching October the 8th. It is our first ever game show, and it's called Team Bride Tribe. And the question is, which tribe knows their bride the best? And it's going to be brides along with 4 family members, friends, wedding party, attendants, whatever. The 4 people she thinks who know her the best going to be competing in a Family Feud type setup to win prizes for the brides that will either go to her wedding, her reception, or her honeymoon. It's going to be a live studio audience. It's going to be an amazing time. And our host is none other than one of the most amazing hosts, most well-known hosts in Atlanta, Jason J. Boy Carey from IBNX Radio. He's done a lot of hosting for the Falcons. He's hosted on the Tom Joyner cruise. He's hosted at Essence Festival, where he is taking the stage, and he's going to take Team Bride Tribe to the next level. We're going to sell this show to a network. You want to be in the room for the very first show. So you said, I was there when they did the first one at Regina Sunshine Global Network, and now the show is on CBS, and Regina's getting residual checks. Just so you know. All right? So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be introducing you to 4 amazing women that truly exemplify Black female excellence. Before I go, I almost forgot. I can't do this. Something that I'm thankful for. And I had a counseling session with my station manager today. And I'm thankful for Christine Gardner today. And I'm not going to cry. I'm going to look this way for a minute. Because she reminded me that obedience to God was way more important than my personal feelings. Because there were some things and decisions I wanted to make because it's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to avoid some pain. And I wanted to avoid some things that are really unpleasant. And she asked me, what did God tell you? And I'm thankful to her for reminding me that obedience is the most important thing. We're going to go to break now. We'll be right back. Regina Sunshine Show here on Regina Sunshine Global Network.
Daylight sun rays when his guitar blazed to expose those who try to destroy dreams. They was like he sings, but we can't say he's an MC. He MCs, but we can't say he's a singer. Oh, and he plucks strings like he's in the dreams of gods. They try to box him up, but you can't contain passion. You can't pour a cup of water to put out the sun. Sorry he don't fit your mold. He's too hot to fit your code. You ain't gotta sign him to your deal. He just learned how to flow with the signs. Aquarius. Find a balance. Libra. Get rid of y'all's crab mentality. Cancer. Each guitar strum is chemo to y'all's diseased way of thinking. So don't you ever stop. Don't you ever stop. Never stop. So they'll never.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air. Yes, I'm still crying, but my lashes are on. You're back with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show on Regina Sunshine Global Network. And I'm so excited to introduce you guys to my first guest of the day. Welcome to the show, Nania Joseph.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. You know, you came branded and everything.
Yes, I did. I tried.
I love that. I love that. It's one of the things that my coach always says. You always got to be representing your brand. So tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
My name is Nania Joseph. I've been an educator for 15 years. I am a passionate mother and author of Maddie the Mathematician.
Maddie the Mathematician. Now, where did we meet? Was it the Atlanta?
African
Yes.
authors.
I always like to mention how I met someone, and shout out to Farai Caldwell, amazing, amazing first Atlanta African American Book Festival. And yes, I was so impressed with so much that day, but anytime I see great branding, that stands out. Tell me about Maddie the Mathematician.
Well, Maddie the Mathematician was actually inspired by my daughter, who came home one day and told me that math was for boys, and she didn't like math.
Oh.
So being the mother and the
Oh.
educator.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So being the mother and the educator that I am, Maddie the Mathematician was created. Because I was going to show her that no, girls rock, and we can do all things.
Yes.
So, and being an educator for 15 years, I have seen the struggles that African American girls have with mathematics. You know, they're turned off by it. My boys love math, my girls hate it. However, my boys don't like to read. So being an educator, Maddie the Mathematician is a win-win. The girls don't realize that they're doing mathematics, and my boys don't realize that they're reading.
Ah.
So it's been a hit in my classrooms. My kids love them. My daughter now, she's warming up to math. We're getting there. We're getting there. She's now in 8th grade. So it's been a struggle, but she's definitely coming around.
I wasn't a math teacher up until I quit my job.
Oh, wow.
June the 30th. My background is I'm actually a chemical engineer by education, but then I kept being asked to teach, and so finally ended up in the classroom and loved it. And you're right, I see it so often, students come into the classroom with this preconceived notion about math. And my goal is automatically to let's knock that down. Number one, I change the way they speak. I give them, positive affirmations about math. But you're right. They've decided, oh, my mama wasn't good at math, or nobody in my family's good at math. And so they've already had this mindset that they're not going to be good at math. Do you see that in your classrooms as well?
Exactly. It's almost like girls are conditioned to say, you know what, I can write and I can read well. But math, that's just not my thing. And it's the same way with boys, so we have to break those stereotypes and let our girls know that you can do anything. You can do anything you put your mind to. We need more African-American female engineers, mathematicians, scientists, doctors, you name it, we can do it. And I really want our girls to get that.
I love that. And when you mentioned about the boys, I have a 23-year-old son, and when he was in middle school, he hated reading. Wow. And I remember I began to recognize that it wasn't necessarily reading, it was what they were forcing them to read. That whole AR program is just set up for a bunch of our kids to fail. And I went in and I had a conversation with the teacher. I said, well, he's not going to read your AR books anymore. Of course, she looked at me like I was crazy. I said, because number one, the buck stops here. Yeah. God has given him to me to be a steward over his life, and this is not working. So what I had to find was stuff he loved. He loved comic books. Yeah. And so I said, we're going to read comic books, and then we're going to ease you over to books about sports athletes, and we're going to ease you. And it worked. And right now, I tell people all the time, he's the most disciplined reader that I know. He's 23, and he reads more than anybody I know. And if I had accepted that, then it wouldn't have happened. So I see what you've done here. You've created this platform where girls get to be encouraged about math, and like I said, and boys get to read more. On the boys' side, how is that working?
My boys actually love it. In the classroom now, they're asking me, oh, what's Maddie's next math adventure? So they're getting into it because they love doing the math that's inside the book.
Yes.
Each math book actually teaches an actual math lesson that I've actually taught with my students.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. So when they're in the books and they're solving these math problems, or they're going on these math adventures with Maddie, they're like, okay, they're not only reading, but they're actually learning another math concept. So, like I said, my kids are loving it. I love it. I love to see them enjoying my work. And as far as reading, that's my biggest thing. As a teacher, you want to see them be able to read and to learn and just to go to the next level.
That's awesome. So what was the first book in the series?
The first book in the series was Maddie Mathematician, The Adventure Begins. And in this book, Maddie explores becoming a mathematician. She actually goes home, like my daughter came to me and said math, she didn't like math. And then her teacher shows her how math is all around her.
Go ahead, keep talking.
Her teacher shows her how math is all around her. Math is everywhere. Math is outside on the playground. Math is at home. If you look close enough, math is everywhere. So from that day forward, she decides to become Maddie the Mathematician.
I love it. So the kind of math problems that are in here, are they basic arithmetic? Is it some algebra, some geometry? What do you have?
The first one, we actually just deal with patterns and shapes.
Okay.
Because my books are written from grades K through 5.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
So for the first book, I actually did this with all of my students, because it's like basically it's an introduction to mathematics, and and letting kids know that math is all around them. And then we jump into the second book, which is Maddie Mathematician, a closer look at sharing.
Look at this. Go ahead.
And in that book, we actually touch on division.
Okay.
And I actually go through teaching division through the process of sharing. Now, I've taught this with my first grade students as well as my fifth grade students. And with my first grade students, we look at breaking into equal parts and sharing. With my fifth grade students, there's actually an illustration in there where we go into the area model of division. And it helps our children conceptualize. They can actually see what the area model division is and how to apply it to their problems.
I love it. And then
the third one is mathematician, the discovery of polygons. And I've taught that with my kindergarten, my first, and my fourth grade students. And in that book, we actually go into looking at shapes, understanding what polygons are. And with kindergarten, people are like, kindergarten, isn't that a little too old for kindergarten? No, they're already learning about triangles, rectangles, squares. Empower them, give them the vocabulary that it's a polygon. So when they see that, they're not freaked out about it. So again, my kids love them. They're excited about it. They're always looking for Maddie's next adventure. So Maddie's next adventure now is going to take us into multiplication.
wow.
So I'm really looking forward to sharing that with my kids as well.
So the next book, is it already written? And you just
It's already written. It's not quite ready for my illustrator, but it's getting there. But yes, I'm definitely going to shoot to get that one out by December.
I'm glad you mentioned your illustrator. So is this someone you know, someone you sought out to be the illustrator for the book?
Well, actually, my illustrator was my coworker, Al Danzo. We all worked together at Grove Park Elementary. And I gave him a picture of my daughter, and I said, can you draw this for me? And he drew it. And I fell in love with her, and he's my illustrator. He's been my illustrator for all of my books. Al
So
Danzo.
this is actually an image represent. Okay, I
Of my
love that.
daughter.
How does she feel about being on a book?
Well, when she was little, it was wow. But now that she's, she's 13, so everything's cringy. But she does come out with me and support me, and she's very versed, and she can tell you all about Maddie because she is Maddie. So she's pretty excited about it.
So what's next for the series? Because you say you're working on, this will be book number 4 you're working on now. Is there a plan to branch out into maybe a cousin or a friend, a male friend, a series of, I'm just asking, I just got questions.
Well, the next step for Maddie, hopefully, God willing, is animation. I actually got her first little animation done on YouTube.
Awesome.
Mathematician on YouTube. It's actually her little theme song. It's actually been animated. So I'm trying to build that up. Hopefully get her full-blown animated, the first fully blown episode. So that's what we're working towards. So I'm really excited about it.
So when you think about the long-term vision for this entire project, what would you like to see overall happen for Maddie the mathematician?
I want to see Maddie everywhere. We talking about Disney, Nickelodeon, Netflix. Maddie is Maddie. She can go there. I see Maddie Dolls, Maddie Paraphernalia. Maddie is the next door to the explorer. She can do it. She can do it. And I know, because what she has to offer the world is something that is needed. It's needed right now. Our children need Maddie, and Maddie's here to give it to them.
Well, I thank you so much for sharing Maddie with us. I'm so excited. Tell our audience where they can buy your books.
You can buy Maddie the Mathematician, all her books on MaddieMathematician.com. We're also available on Amazon as well. Please like, follow, share us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I do weekly posts as well. Just giving parents some strategies that they can do with their kids to help them with mathematics and to see that math is all around them.
Well, let me ask you this, from an educator and a parent's perspective, how important has it been to you to be able to bridge this gap between our girls and math and our boys and reading? How important, let's back up from a parent's perspective, because I know other parents are looking at you and they're admiring, they're inspired by this. How does it feel to have that type of admiration?
It feels wonderful. It really feels wonderful. Being an educator, my job is service. And if I can put just a little bit out there that's going to help you make your baby better and bring your baby to their fullest potential, then that's my purpose. That's why I'm here. That's what I'm here for. It's not about admiration. It's just about me wanting to help and bring our children to the catapult where they need to be. I know our kids are full of potential, full of dreams, and they can get there. They need to see it. And our kids don't see it. They don't see it often enough. And that's what I'm here for.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I thank you so much for the interview. What we're going to do is we're going to bring you back up at the end of the show with all of the guests, and we'll close out together. Does that sound good?
That sounds wonderful.
Awesome. We're going to take a quick break, and we come right back here on the Regina Sunshine Show on Regina Sunshine Global Network.
He daylight sun rays when his guitar blazed to expose those who try to destroy dreams. They was like he sings, but we can't say he's an MC. He MCs, but we can't say he's a singer. Oh, and he plucks strings like he's in the dreams of gods. They try to box him up, but you can't contain passion. You can't pour a cup of water to put out the sun. Sorry he don't fit your mold. He's too hot to fit your code. You ain't gotta sign him to your deal. He just learned how to flow with the signs. Aquarius, find a balance. Libra, get rid of y'all's crab mentality. Cancer, each guitar strum is chemo to y'all diseased way of thinking. So don't you ever stop. Don't you ever stop. Never stop. So they'll never have to ask, who is JJ Day?
Yes, it was the emerging leaders.
It's time.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show at where? Regina Sunshine Global Networks. And I'm so excited to introduce you guys to our next guest. Welcome to the show, Michelle Simmons.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Well, do this for us. Tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay. My name is Michelle Simmons. I am currently an educator. Fifth grade special education co-taught, and I'm also the vice chair of the Douglas County School Board.
And I met you in this building.
Yes.
And I have to say, again, Lanita introduced us, and anytime Lanita uses the words, this is someone you need to know, you pause. And her words to me were, Michelle is someone you need to know. And so I immediately reached out to you because I have so much respect for her, and I knew from what she said she had a lot of respect for you as well. So it's interesting, you're the second educator on the show today. This is what I call divine appointments. I see where God is kind of taking this conversation as we go. How did you get into education?
That's a long story, but I'm going to make it real short. You know how life takes you through twists and turns? My life did that. Brief story, I was in customer service and sales, and I was injured. And during that time, I was not working. And I knew I wasn't supposed to go back into sales and service. And I was just prayerful and didn't work for like a year and a half. And a door opened up for me to teach and work in Stone Mountain at a private school. Long story short, on March 3rd, 2003, 333, I knew something was going to happen, didn't know what it was. Our administrator called 3 teachers in and said, hey, we're going to have to let you go. We have budget constraints. We're not able to afford your salary. And so I was let go. And she was like, hey, we know you're going to be okay. I ended up at my current church. Happened to be there on a Tuesday. I'm someone that anyone knows me. I sit at the front. I don't want any distractions when the word is being preached. That's where I'm at. And sat in the, but this time I sat towards the back, over to the side, and I happened to sit behind the executive director of the school that they had at the school. Long story short, I stood up at the end of the Bible study and said, hey, oh, are you the executive director? And I was hired at a private Christian school and worked there 5 years. From there, you know, how people would say, hey, you know, you're a wonderful teacher. I was like, oh, thank you, but I needed to be validated. I was teaching a particular curriculum that you didn't really need the teacher credentials. But I wanted to be validated as a teacher, so I went back to school and got my certification in early childhood special education. And then from there, been teaching in a public school for 6 years now, and that's how I ended up in education.
I love that. And the thing that I love best about what you just shared and what you talked about at the beginning is the fact that you're an active educator on the school board.
Yes.
That's important because so often in other cities I've been in, you know, you have people making decisions that aren't in the classroom, that aren't in the school, so they don't know on a day-to-day basis what is happening. So why was it important for you to not only be a in-class educator, but to move into a position of leadership where you can begin to make some important decisions for our children?
You know, when I think about it, even you asking me questions, it kind of jogs my memory on really how things happen. I can only say it was literally God's divine appointment for me. When you look back and just see how everything just kind of came together for that. I know that, you know, being in the position and having both positions, it can be challenging, you know, to be sitting at the board and have that teacher mindset. But it affords me the opportunity to be able to ask critical questions.
Yes.
You know, that a lot of board members just wouldn't know to ask because they aren't familiar with curriculum. They don't know about the data. Hey, show me the data that supports the purchase of this. Had you know, and just different things like that, that I think it affords. And like you said, a lot of, at the time that I decided to run for office, I actually ran in 2010. And I happened to look on the school board website, and I didn't see any representation from women at the time, and then not a woman or anyone that looked like me, you know? So I decided, and I looked at the person that was on our board. He'd been in office 15 years and was basically running unopposed. And I just literally, the way things kind of happened, it literally was, you know, an open door for me to run. And my first run, I lost the seat by 212 votes. 212 degrees is the boiling point.
I was just going to say that. I was good.
You know, so a friend of mine shared, hey, Michelle, you know, I think you should get this book, 212 Degrees. And I ordered the book and I read it. And I felt as if God was...
I didn't know there was a book.
Yeah,
oh, I got to get that. Okay.
And I have it, and I read it, and I felt like God was saying, give it another degree of effort. So that was in 2010 when I ran. Then after that, I left, went overseas for a little bit, came back, and ran in 2014 and won.
That's awesome. So when you first looked at this situation, there wasn't anybody who looked like you, very few women,
Yes.
and no educators.
Right. Well, there was a person that was on the board who was a PE teacher.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with PE
There's nothing
teachers.
wrong with PE, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, so you came in and changed the whole face of what it looks like to be on the board. You did.
I personally wouldn't say that.
No. I'm telling you, no. You're a black female educator. That in that particular role is huge because I'm telling you, you look at superintendents, you look at other people in positions of power. They don't always look like us. So go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Yeah, I was going to say also in 2014, myself and our board chair, Tracy Rooker, we were both elected to the school board at that time.
So it was a game-changing year.
It was.
It was a game-changing year. So you still a game changer. And then you got a partner rolling with you, which is all. And think about it, that's kind of hot, isn't it? Y'all came in like, bam, we're here.
That sounds real good.
Because I'm sure that's what they felt when you walked through the door. Bam, they here. So what do you love about your role being on the board?
Just being able to have a positive impact on the children in our district and the teachers. I think that from what I hear, they're pleased with the direction we're going. We hired a superintendent about a little over a year ago, and I think things are going wonderful. We're working on lowering the class size. We're putting more money into the actual curriculum and what's being taught. So I think that from what I'm hearing, that everyone's pleased with the investment we're actually putting into the classrooms and you know, into our schools.
What are you hearing from the parents that they're most concerned about?
Lately or overall?
Overall. Let's do both, overall and lately.
Overall, I would say it's more so that their children are growing and that they're prepared for what's to come.
Okay.
Yeah, they want their children to be academically prepared, you know, and to be able to handle the challenges, be it whether they go college and career, or whatever they choose, they want them to be ready for that.
So that's the overall or the lately?
That's the overall.
So lately, what have people been coming to you about?
Well, we've had, you know, a new school year. So we've had some hiccups, as all organizations do. We had, you know, and a lot of people have heard about the bus situation that we had with new leadership and changing the routes and things like that. And we had to get kind of wade through that. And I think we did a wonderful job. It was addressed at our board meeting right after the first day of school. And our superintendent read a letter, addressed it. We addressed it as a board, and it was, I think it was received. You know, and no children were hurt.
Yeah.
Everyone got home eventually, safe and sound, and all is well. I ran into the director of our transportation department. He's new to the position, and he told me, you know, all is well, and he's happy about being in the position and what he's doing in the direction that we're going in. So yeah,
That's awesome. What are some of your, I guess, personal goals or things that you would like to see happen in your district?
Personal goals. I want to see us actually as a community become just more engaged in education, more engaged in politics, more active and vocal. I want us to be more informed of what's going on. That's some of the things that I personally like to provide information. So you'll see me providing forums, talks, discussions about what's going on. So when we had the Opportunity School District a couple of years ago and we had to vote on that, I was one of the proponents, me and a lot of other people in Douglas County working to, hey, vote no. That was I'm all for public education. So I'm about educating the community, educating the parent and the child.
You mentioned forums. Did you hear her say forums? You heard it. Because we've been thinking about doing a women's town hall out here.
Okay.
Just getting the women together and talk, what are the issues that the women in Douglasville are concerned about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when she said that, it kind of brought it back to my mind again. Inside of the schools, I think there are a lot of things happening or situations that people outside don't fully understand. Let me tell you what I mean. The last assignment I actually worked with a program called Target 2021. And we were the educators that were assigned to work with the children that were affected by the testing scandal for APS.
Okay.
And so we were actively in the classroom, pushing, working with these students. And through that experience, I saw so much that I had no clue what's going on in the schools. I came from I was a college math instructor before I worked with APS. And at that time I was like, people really need to volunteer or get out because you don't know what's going on until you're there. Is that something that you've seen as well?
Absolutely. You don't hear about it. But what you're talking about, and I think we're probably talking about the same thing, the social emotional issues.
Yes,
that go on in the classroom,
yes.
The anger.
Yes,
and
the
how
anger.
it
Our
manifests.
children are so angry. So how do we inform? How do we get our community, as you said, and our parents to really know what's going on with their kids? Because I think they put on such a face at home, right? And then they go to school and they're, what?
I don't believe that they're one way at home and then they're another way at school. I believe whatever goes on at home, they're going to bring it back to school.
Now, I do believe that, but what I'm saying is so often I've seen where young people are, for a better term, wilding out. And then I see them standing beside their parents like this, you know what I'm saying? Now, I do believe what we're seeing in the school is a manifestation of some of the stuff that's happening at home, but I don't think, because number one, the parents are so busy and they're running after their own, dreams, but plus sometimes just trying to put food on the table, that they're not fully in tune to what's going on with their kids. And so how do we bridge that gap? How do we get the parents to pause so that we can say, hey, they need you?
Yeah. One of the things we do in our classroom is we reach out to our parents through Class Dojo. It might be Remind, phone calls, to not only tell the parents and speak to them about when their children are having areas of opportunity, when they're not making good choices, but also to say, hey, such and such had a good day.
Yes.
To try to build that relationship. So we're not just calling you about negatives, but no, we're calling them this went well, and things like that. So we can prayerfully try to build a partnership and bridge any gaps that there may be based on what the parents have experienced when they were students and with their teachers, and as well as us. And so we communicate like that with them and try to tell them what's going on with their children. And it's
Relationship.
like it's building that relationship. They have to know that we care about their child.
That's so true. It does have to go back to being a real partnership, because then, if we're communicating on a regular basis, then when there is an issue with the child, it's not the first time I've heard from you.
Right.
So I don't have my defenses up like some parents do because you didn't call me until now.
Yeah.
I love that. I do. Was there anything else you wanted to share? Because I see you got a page full of notes there.
I wasn't sure where you were going, so I like to be prepared.
Yes.
I really just wanted to talk. I think you already know I've had an opportunity to travel to Ghana.
Yes.
Over the summer, I was there for 5 weeks, and I went with 14 educators. Wow. And our goal was to develop a curriculum, a K through 12 curriculum, which we did, and it's in the process of being put together and formatted and everything. But our goal was to dispel any myths, media stereotypes and misconceptions that people have of Africa, specifically Ghana. And it was really good. As educators, we had lectures on language, culture, economics, history, geography from different professors at the University of Ghana. We stayed on their campus. We traveled to Cape Coast. Some of us traveled to Kumasi, and it was just a really good experience. We did that through the American Institute of Resource and Human Development. And there are opportunities for other educators to go. And I'm putting together a PowerPoint and some opportunities now to be able to share that with people so that other people can have the opportunity to do that as well. And the curriculum that we created will be shared not only nationally but internationally.
I love that. That's awesome. You know, Colin Kaepernick traced his heritage back to Ghana. He actually went to Ghana, what I think it was last summer or whatever. There might be a great connection. Y'all go over there. I'm sorry. I'm trying. You know, I'm always trying to hook people up. I'm trying to hook people up. That would just be great for him to go and talk about their curriculum and their program and everything. That's me. Well, I thank you so much for being here. I thank you. As I got a 23-year-old, but still as a parent for what you do, because it is so important that we have educators in the field, hands-on, who truly love and care about our children and who aren't just there for a paycheck. And I know if you're working your regular teaching job and you are not getting paid for most of what you do, and so we thank you for what you do. So tell our audience, if they want to reach you, if they got some questions, or they got some input, how can they connect with you?
Address by heart, but you can always go to the Douglas County School System website, click on administration, go to board members, and they have information about me, and it has my website. You can also reach me at should I get at my Google number, my phone number?
If it's your Google number, because it's not your direct line. Okay.
404-480-3421. You can reach me there at 404-480-3421, and you can also email me, and I'll return your email.
Awesome. Well, can you hang around to the end of the show? All right. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll have our third Black female excellence guest here on the Regina Sunshine Show.
He daylight sun rays when his guitar blazed to expose those who try to destroy dreams. They was like he sings, but we can't say he's an MC. He MCs, but we can't say he's a singer. Oh, and he plucks strings like he's in the dreams of gods. They try to box him up, but you can't contain passion. You can't pour a cup of water to put out the sun. Sorry he don't fit your mold. He's too hot to fit your code. You ain't gotta sign him to your deal. He just learned how to flow with the signs. Aquarius, find a balance. Libra, get rid of y'all's crab mentality. Cancer, each guitar strong.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air with your girl Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show on where? Regina Sunshine Global Network. And this is number three of some amazing women here tonight on what has turned out to be another part of our Black Female Excellence series. Welcome to the show, Shanae Gilbert.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Oh, well, how about yourself?
Doing good. And I think we had the same meeting as a future guest. Right. We met at, because I saw you on when I mentioned Farai Caldwell and the Atlanta African American Book Festival. Right. Amazing event. In fact, okay, that's an announcement. I don't think it's been made publicly. I'm gonna keep that to myself. But tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Hi guys, my name is Dr. Shanae Gilbert. I am an educator. I've been an educator for over 20 years now. I born and raised in Miami, Florida. I've been residing here in Atlanta for almost 20 years. Although I don't teach in the school system anymore, I'm still an educator. I teach on the collegiate level now. I was going to really go into how I got into this.
Well, let's pause there. Now, people who follow my show for any length of time know I always say there's some shows that I specifically pick a topic and I look for guests that all fit into that same area. Then for most shows, I just set out some dates and I know God will divinely send the people here on that day that are supposed to be on that show together. And I did not know that I had a show that so far I've had 3 educators on. That wasn't planned. That's why I know there are divine appointments at hand. I just know that when you're in the room, that whoever's in the room, you're supposed to know them. So make sure y'all connect and talk to each other. Well, okay. So your background is in college.
My background is education.
Education.
So I've taught in the elementary sector for different school systems. I started in Florida before I moved to Georgia. It's always been elementary ed. I taught in the classroom for 13 years before transitioning to higher ed.
All right. So the transition from elementary age to higher education, how did you make that transition?
Quickly. I enjoy teaching, but it was a breath of fresh air. Teaching adults isn't really too much different from teaching kids. The only difference is they want to be there. They're paying for their education. In the classroom, you're doing constant reminders.
Yes.
Okay, I'm putting it nice.
I know. Go ahead.
Constant reminders. And so, but you still have the students who want to learn, who are eager to try new things or what have you. So there's not too much difference with teaching children versus adults. It's just that the adults want to be there. They want to learn because they're paying for that tuition, and they know that they're investing within themselves.
Yeah. And see, you and I had the opposite transition. So I started teaching at a technical college, which I love adult education. I really do. And I tell people the difference for me is, when you're in a traditional school classroom situation, then you're dealing with parents and administration and, all this other stuff. There was so much more freedom on the college level for me just to be me, you know. And I loved that part of it. But I do see when I moved into the position I was at, most recently, the need for people on all levels. And so that's why it's important that we all follow our gift and be where we're supposed to be, because we're all needed at every level.
That's true.
So you didn't even tell me what subject do you teach?
So on the collegiate level, I am business courses. So I do management, leadership, I won't say, they're beginning courses. So as students start transitioning from their general ed courses, I'm one of the first 2 courses they take as they move up in their major.
That's awesome. So let's talk about the Atlanta African American Book Festival. So you were there, obviously, as an author.
I was.
Tell me how you wrote your first book. How did that happen?
My book started when I was a teacher in APS. It was in 2007.
You want to tell us where you taught at? You don't want to tell us? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I was just asking.
Well, I was a teacher. I don't mind. I was a teacher at G.A. Towns Elementary.
Okay.
And this particular year, I had 3 male students that kept pushing my buttons. Mind you, since I began teaching, I've always had the behavior problem class. But this particular year, I couldn't take it. I don't care. Any teacher knows it doesn't matter how elaborate your lesson plans are, what you put for the next day. When a kid comes in your classroom ready to disrupt, they're going to disrupt and no teaching gets done. You have to execute classroom management. So I got to the point where I was like, okay, who comes to class to act out every day? Who? What? Why? I conferenced with their family members, and that's when I discovered one of my students, his mom died giving birth to him. He was never told. So therefore, he made up his own stories. His dad was incarcerated for the rest of his life. I believe he knew that part. My second student had an uncle strung out on drugs and would see him walking the streets. My third student had a dad in a mental institution and was never allowed to go see him. So that's when it clicked. They're grieving. Now let me pause there. When I was 19 years old, my mother passed away of cancer. So I was a sophomore in college. Oops.
I'm an A&T Aggie over here, but just so we know.
I had to plug it in. I was a sophomore in college when my mother passed away from cancer. And so at the time, when my mindset at the time, I did not talk to anyone. People extended the invitation, how you doing? It would be short, very brief, because with my mindset at the time is if your mom was still living, you wouldn't understand how I felt. So my dad dealt with his grief as a husband, my brother in his own way. They were home, so they saw more than me. I was in Tallahassee. So fast forward, I kept a journal. Instead of talking to anyone, I kept a journal. I lashed out at God. I was angry. I was jealous. I was on an emotional roller coaster. Over time, I began to continue to write, but become less angry with God. Why was I angry with God? Because my mom was just a great person. Like, just the sweetest person, would do anything for you. She was the piano player at church. She was just a great person. And at the time in the family, sometimes you have people who do things that shows that they don't care about their life. So I was like, well, why would you take my mom and not them? That's how I felt. I've repented. I've asked forgiveness, and I'm over that. But that's how I felt at the time. Well, fast forward to 2007. Once I found out my 3 male students what they were experiencing, I decided to turn my journal into a children's book. And then that's when I birthed Mama Did You Mean to Leave So Soon?
Girl.
And it was because
Girl.
of them. I had, trust me, believe you me, you would have never in a million years told me Shanae was going to be going around educating our youth on what grief is. That was never a part of my plan. So this is all God. They helped me birth the book, Mama Did You Mean to Leave So Soon? And in this book, I discuss my times I spent with my mom and when she got sick, and then I also share how I coped with her death. So I cried tears of joy, I wrote in a journal, and I talk about the times we shared with Daddy, right? And it was then where I gave each of my male students a copy, and I read the book to my class. You know, once I explained what grief meant, all hands went up. Because what I learned, grief is not discussed in our homes. It's just not, especially in underserved communities, especially in our urban communities. So what God is using me to do are the 3 E's: educate, equip, and empower. I educate our youth, their parents, on what grief is, equip them with coping strategies, and empower them to push through. Because you can't keep ducking and dodging grief. You got to go through it. You got to lean into it, and you have to equip yourself. You have to put those different strategies and tools into motion to help you propel forward. And that's what I do. And so that's how I got to writing. That's why my niche is grief. It's a small word, but you know, everyone thinks that grief is associated with death. It is not. I used to think that as well. Well, until I started writing my first children's book. Grief is a small word, but it's just a big reaction to a change or loss that occurs within our life. That can be death, divorce, a big move from one school to another, move from one state to another, move to the next city, your health, those who can't play sports anymore. Anything that's a sudden change or big change or loss, that's grief. And we see grief every day. Every day it's around us. Just watch the news. That's full of grief, you know. So I make sure that they're aware of that, because everyone thinks that grief means that someone has died. No, grief is a big change or loss that occurs within our life. Once they understand that, let's go into what's causing you your depression, your frustration, your anger. See, my problem with my male students was no one took the time to ask them how any of these events affected them.
Wow.
That was 4th grade. So for that grandparent, one of my students was being reared by his grandparent, the one whose mom died giving birth to him. He was making up his own stories. The worst thing a caregiver or a caretaker could do is not share the real story and not tell the truth. That hurts. That goes deeper and further than you know. Our kids understand a great deal more than you know. You know, you can talk about death as young as 3, just vocabulary appropriate.
Yeah.
You know, when I meet a lot of parents who had their child's fathers incarcerated and they up and leave to go to another city. Well, our kids don't adapt to change as much as we used to when growing up. They don't adapt as fast. They're not as flexible. So while you think you're making a great move for your family, your child is stuck, well, she's trying to take me away from my dad. Talk to them. Communicate. That goes into my segue.
Well, let's stop there for a second, because I want to ask you about when you read the book to your class and you gave it to those 3 male students. What was the reaction?
No one had ever heard of the word grief. They never heard of the word grief. But once I explained to them what grief was and how I felt when I lost my mom, I wanted to let them know that they're not alone.
They're not alone.
You know, I've gone through, just because I put on this face doesn't mean I don't go through.
Yes.
You know, and so everyone wanted to share their reaction about what they've experienced.
Yes.
Who no longer lives in their home anymore, who had to go live back with grandma, who had to, you know, so they started shooting stories left and right, so they could identify.
Yes, but that's what happens when you're transparent. Transparency opens the door for people to be able to share and experience what's going on with them.
Right.
Because if you had not been that open, if you
Right.
hadn't shared that, then none of that could have taken place. So
Right.
you had to decide, you know what, I'm going to lay myself out here
Right.
for you so that you
Right.
can be able
Let
to.
them know I'm
Exactly.
human. I don't know why children think teachers are like these robots or they're not human, but we experience hurt, pain, frustration just like they do. And so as I go around and I talk and I share my story, some of them loosen up a little bit because first you have to be invited into their space.
Yes.
They have to trust that they have to trust you with their feelings, first of all, and you respect, and you know, no judgment zone.
Yes.
This is what I want to encourage parents. Have a family day, whether it's a day you have off. I know families work, a couple of parents may work more than one job, but that one day you have off, spend some time at the table discussing how did your day, is there anything you want to tell me? Share what you went through. Let them know you're human. Let them know that something has hurt you. Discuss how you handled it. Now, how do you think mama was wrong, or do you think I could have handled that better? You know, dialogue, open communication. Establish a space where kids can vent with no judgment.
Feel safe.
Because most times
They feel safe.
they suppress because they don't want to add any more stress, so they're thinking, or they don't want to be judged for how they're feeling. Because just because they're kids doesn't mean they don't have feelings. A lot of adults shoot it off. Like, they're just kids, they'll get over it.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
That whole open dialogue thing is huge. I tell people all the time, when my son was growing up, my husband and I would always, you know, have those conversations. Well, how things go? What's going on? We were always in his face. And on the outside, he was always like, but it would be 2 o'clock in the morning when you're in the bed and you come there, well, Mom, this is on my mind. But because we were always there, he knew that whenever he was ready, that we were available
And
to have those
that speaks
conversations.
volumes.
Yes.
Instead of going to the street for their advice, you know, you kept it inside the house, and you know, you get the wise and the wisdom and the listening ear. Most times our youth, they don't need advice per se, they just need a sounding board.
Yes.
They need to get it out.
Yes.
Establish space, that space for them, that no judgment zone for them to just talk.
Absolutely. And so you were going to tell us about the next book.
So, yes, from there, my first children's book, I have developed the Dear Grief series. And these are chapter books. This is book 1 and book 2. It picks up from Latrell, the main character, And basically, it is books that dwell on a single father raising 2 kids by himself. And I focus heavily on communication. The dining room table, because that was our chit-chat zone growing up. The dining room table is where the family comes to eat together, and the dad goes around and they all discuss what happened in school or how they're feeling. A lot of families don't eat together anymore. Everyone goes into their separate rooms. Well, I brought that's our central communication zone right there, the dinner table. So when I talk to parents, find that one place you all can go together as a unit and just have you time, talk. You know, it doesn't all have to be serious, but just spend time learning what's going on, because these weeks go by so fast. You know, it'd be 6 months down. Well, I didn't know you felt that way. You know, take time to figure out or to ask what's going on, and that's parents as well. Don't shield everything from your child. Let them know that you're human, but let them know that you hurt and you cry, but that doesn't mean mama can't take care of you.
That's right.
I'm just going through a little something, but I'll be okay.
You have tapped into something that is so needed, because I'm not hearing this conversation anywhere. You're the very first guest. I've done this show for almost 4 years on a weekly basis with 4 to 5 guests every show, and you're the very first person that has had this conversation. So you are walking in the space God has created you to walk in, and you need to be bold about it. I'm serious. This conversation needs to be had in many places, in forums, in community centers with parents and families, and it needs, because as Ms. Simmons and I were talking about, the kids are angry and they're going through, and people don't know why.
They don't take the time to ask.
And you've tapped into it. You have absolutely tapped into it.
Each chapter book has, each book, my book 1 and book 2, they have chapter questions. I did that on purpose to promote dialogue and to open the lines of communication. Most times when we deal with an adult who is expressing depression, everything triggers back to their childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go to PTA, parents buy the book, this is a good time for them to discuss what they went through, what type of loss they experienced, and how they handled it, and maybe discuss what they could have done differently. You know, let's develop open communication, because kids who suppress a lot, they don't become great communicators. They start lashing out, you know. And I volunteer at Kate's Club, which is a non-for-profit for kids who have experienced the loss of a parent or sibling. And a couple of them are very bold or verbal. Others suppress. I tell you, it's going to come out right. You may be good and grown. It may come out on your job. It may come out with your own kids. And you be like, where'd that come from? You didn't deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a kettle pot. When you boiling that water, after a while it starts doing what? Whistling.
Mm-hmm.
It has to come out. So let's get in the frame of mind of establishing that safe zone for kids to vent with no judgment. And from there, we can help them internalize or identify their emotions. Most kids don't know what type of emotions they're feeling. They just know they don't feel right.
They don't feel right. Wow, I love that. Please tell our audience where they can get your books.
My books can be purchased on Amazon. However, if you order them through my publishing site, www.souldeeppublishing.com, I could personally autograph it for you and ship it to you. That's www.souldeeppublishing.com. And also on Instagram, I am Dear Grief Series. So please follow my page. I'm trying to build my brand, get the word out. I speak at churches, not-for-profits, PTA, schools, career days. So don't be a stranger. If you have a question, I also meet and work with parents as well. I want 3 E's: educate, equip, empower. Educate, equip, empower.
I love it. I do. Well, we thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I want you to hold on and come back when we finish out the show and end with us. Awesome. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I got number 4 of our Black Female Excellence series here on the Regina Sunshine Show on Regina Sunshine Global Network.
He daylight sun rays when his guitar blazed to expose those who try to destroy dreams. They was like he sings, but we can't say he's an MC. He MCs, but we can't say he's a singer. Oh, and he plucks strings like he's in the dreams of gods. They try to box him up, but you can't contain passion. You can't pour a cup of water to put out the sun. Sorry he don't fit your mold. He's too hot to fit your cold. You ain't gotta sign him to your deal. He just learned how to flow with the signs. Aquarius. Find a balance. Libra. Get rid of y'all's crab mentality. Cancer. Each guitar strum is chemo to y'all's diseased way of thinking. So don't you ever stop. Don't you ever stop. Never stop, so they'll never have to ask, who is JJ Day?
It's time.
Oh yeah, 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 oh yeah. See, I'm grown without enough patience. Damn, I should've done blown up. These niggas asking for latex while I'm out stacking my patience. Don't give this nigga an inch, best believe he taking them out. If she's ever taking these inches, best believe she's gonna get loud. They say I rap like I already rap, with 2 chicks and a badass rap. All eyes must step inside. I'm not that dude, just that guy. Guitar in the studio, might wear a chain to set the tone. I get a little tense when I'm in my zone. Girls yell out, I love that song. So wake up in the morning to girls putting on clothes. Never been the one taking about 2 different them girls. If loving them was right, I don't ever wanna be wrong. I want my money long, 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 long. So shout out to people that called it. Shout out to proving them right. Shout out to living this life. Shout out to people that grind all day. Shout out to people that party all night. Shout out to her. Shout out to her and her friend for definitely keeping it tight. Man, we only live in the moment, but we definitely doing it right. So shout out to me. Shout out to me. I'm stuck in this moment. Shout out to me. I'm stuck in this moment. Shout out to me. Shout out to me. I'm stuck in this moment. Shout out to me. Shout out to me. I'm stuck in this moment. Cause real niggas stay hungry. Fake niggas don't love me. Girls out here want me. Truth is, it's lovely. I stay eating on my grind, leaving these fake niggas behind. These girls whisper they love me. Truth is, they lying. That's how money long design. Live this moment like I was dying. They chasing after that fame. All work to drive you insane, but it's hard to lose my mind when I get that pinky ends with brain. Back to taking over this world, with or without your love. Man, I made the bed that I'm lying in. Call me Brian Flanagan, give me cocktails and dreams. She's obsessed, her friends a fiend. Spit that money, spit that green. Money fat, pockets lean. You were once upon a time, I never was. Now I'm all there is, all there is. So shout out to people that called it. Shout out to proving them right. Shout out to living this life. Shout out to people that grind all day. Shout out to people that party all night. Shout out to her. Shout out to her and her friend for definitely keeping it tight. Man, we only live in the moment, but we definitely doing it right. So shout out to me. Shout out to me. I'm stuck in this moment. Shout out to me. Shout out to me. I'm stuck in this moment. Shout out to me. Shout out to me. I'm stuck in this moment. Shout out to me. Shout out to me. I'm stuck in this moment. Cause I just wanna see you put your hands in the air. I just wanna see you put your hands in the air. I just wanna see you put your hands in the air. She got a cup on that ass low. She got a cup on that ass low. She got a cup on that ass low. And she gon' drop it to the floor. Drop it to the floor, come on now, drop it to the floor. To the floor, girl, 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 drop it to the floor. Drop it to the floor, come on and drop it to the floor. So shout out to people that call it. Shout out to proving them right. Shout out to living this life. Shout out to people that grind all day. Shout out to people that party all night. Shout out to her. Shout out to her and her friend for definitely keeping it tight. Man, we only live in the moment, but we definitely doing it right. So shout out to me. Shout out to me. Shout out to me. Shout out to me. I'm stuck in this moment. Oh.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air at Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show on Regina Sunshine Global Network, and this has been amazing. But we're not done. I want to welcome to the show our fourth amazing guest here on our Black Female Excellence Series. Welcome, Miss Lisa Hollis.
Thank you, Regina, for having me.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Doing good. I met you in this room.
Exactly. Exactly what I was thinking a minute ago, right in this room.
Yes. Lanita invited me out. You were having the launch for your book.
Yes.
And so me and one of my clients came out to meet you. So tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Lisa Hollis. I am a wife. I'm a mother. I'm the Duchess, a.k.a. grandmother. And right now, I've been a hairdresser for 30 years, and then I got into the medical field, so I'm in administration. And then I went and got my certification to be a life coach, and now we're going to be starting a business called Reach Back and Lift High.
Reach back and lift high. I love that. So again, I met you in this room.
Yes.
It was your book launch.
Yes.
Tell us about the book you were launching.
The book I was launching is called Me and My Hair. It's something I decided I want to do because of the fact that I was a hair designer and I was doing little girls' hair. And the little girls were hating their natural hair. They were hating who they were because they wanted, of course, to be like somebody else.
Yes.
And so I went home that evening and I started writing a book to let them know it's okay to accept who you are. And really this beautification that's on the outside, it really doesn't matter too much when your heart is not right, when your self-esteem is low. That's what we need to work on for our little girls. And I felt like if we reach them little, 2, 3, then once they, become little girls, elementary, junior high, then we won't have as many issues as we have now.
I love that. So you mentioned you having little girls in your shop
Right.
who didn't like their hair.
You could tell.
Let me ask you, the parents' response. Did you feel like the parents were kind of feeding into that? Did you see parents who were attempting to encourage their daughters that maybe had those negative feelings about their hair?
I think they were encouraging them, but not necessarily in the right way, because they, again, were teaching them about the artificial things that always changes. And they was not communicating to them about their heart, their attitude, their manners, integrity. These things are what we need to work on.
It's interesting. We're having this conversation about hair. My niece Olivia, I remember last year in school, my sister, I have these sisters, we talk every day.
Right.
And so this particular day, Olivia came home from school and she was upset because the children in her class were picking at her about her hair.
Right.
She goes to a private Christian school. At that time, she was one of 2 people in her class that looked like her.
Right.
And I remember being on the phone with my sister and being so proud. She says, "Girl, do you know how beautiful you are?
Right.
Just the way you are." She said, "Do you realize that people all over the world are trying to look like you every day?"
Every day.
And it was such a great moment. I was thinking about that as you were talking about your book. So is that what you're trying to reinforce to our girls?
Right. Positive affirmations to our daughters, because a lot of times they don't hear it at home.
Yes.
And then that's what happens when they get a little older. They meet a little boy and he say a little sweet something, and then they're taken over because they did not hear these positive affirmations at home. It starts at home. It starts with your mothers, your fathers, your sisters, your aunts. It starts at home.
I'm glad you say that. I do a workshop called A Real Sisterhood, where the question is, when did you stop liking other women? Because we have so much
Hate.
amongst women.
Right.
And every session I have, it ends up being something that happened in the family.
Yes.
Grandmama said she was the prettiest, or daddy, she was his favorite.
Right.
And so what started as conflict between blood sisters
Right.
turned into conflict amongst all women in general.
Exactly.
And I've told people in this workshop over and over again, we have to be careful how we speak to our children, not
Yes.
only to them, but to ourselves. And families do it all the time. They don't even recognize it. You show up and you got 3 girls. Oh, she's the pretty one. Oh,
Right.
whatever. And you
Right.
immediately begin creating this discord between our girls.
Yes.
And now not only between them, but how they feel about themselves because of something simple that Auntie said when she walked in the room.
Yes, you have to be mindful of what words come out of your mouth. Either they can lift you up or put you down. And I think a lot of times people feel like because children are children, it does not matter.
It does matter.
But it matters the most. It
Absolutely.
matters the most.
So tell us about some of the affirmations that you have in your book.
Well, the book is basically saying, my hair may be short, my hair may be long, it may be black, it may be brown, I may be wearing Afro puffs.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. It's okay. It's all right. Whatever I have, naturally, whoever I am, it's okay because, like I said, beautification starts on the inside your heart.
Absolutely. What has the response been to your book?
Oh my gosh. I did not know how people loved it and what made it real, because I was kind of like in a dream when I had my book signing.
You sold a boatload of books, first of all.
I did. Thank you.
I've been to some book signings, and you had to keep bringing books out the box. I was like, oh, people were buying stacks
Yes.
of books.
God did that.
Yes.
God did that. was really still in a dream that day. I was just walking around and everything, and what grabbed my attention was one of my coworkers, little girl, told me, "This little girl looks like me." My eyes got teary, and I had to say, "Lisa, keep it together, girl." Get ready to start that ugly cry. And I didn't want to do that. So that made it more real than anything, because that's what I wanted our young girls to, any young girl, any nationality, to be able to look in that book and say, there is somebody that looks like me. I wear my hair, like mine. Natural, or you have Afro putts, you have ponytails, you have cornrows, you have plaits, and then some of them are straight. It's okay. Whatever you have, let's accept what you have. Let's not want what somebody else has. Let's accept what I'm good.
Yes.
This is good enough for me.
I love it. So tell us about this doll on your lap.
Okay. So this doll came about, I would say when I first wrote the book, I had spoken with one of my coworkers and her mom. And I was thinking about getting a book, getting a doll done with the book. But life happens. And so I put it on the back burner. And this is when God sometimes blesses you with ideas you thought about. You just got to think about it, and He'll manifest it. The book signing.
I remember when you opened it. I saw it.
I was in the line, and they gave it to me and pulled it out. I had not a clue that they was going to bless me with this doll. I know.
And see, and I didn't know that you didn't know. I knew it was the first time you saw it by your reaction, but I didn't know that you had no clue the doll was coming.
I did not have a clue because, like I said, I had talked to her a year and a half about it. Hadn't talked to her again about it. And I knew they had a bag for me, but I was just thinking. But when I pulled it out, you saw my reaction.
I did.
I was like, oh, y'all trying to make me cry today. So this is where she came around. This is Mary Jean. Mary Jean is after my mom, who passed a year ago. And so this doll is going to be manufactured soon, and we're going to be able to sell it along with the book and also the shirts.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see Mary Jean got her own little copy of the book. Is her own little copy stuck down in her
right.
skirt? That is so cute.
They came up with that.
They did?
They did the whole thing. They just blessed me. Really, really good people that blessed me.
So are you planning to write a follow-up book?
I have. I've started already. Now, what's funny is when you become an author, people always tell you, I got your next book for you. They start giving you titles. But the next book I'm going to be writing is Me and My Skin.
Oh, yes.
Me and My Skin.
I feel it. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because I think that's important. Again, us just accepting who we are and loving who we are no matter what it is, no matter what I look like, no matter what my skin is, no matter what kind of hair I have. I have to love myself from the inside, then it comes out.
So this is a whole affirmation series that you started.
Yes.
I can see that, just affirming who we are.
Right, because our little girls, they really don't know who they are. They really do not know their value. And that's why they end up making bad choices and decisions.
Yes.
Because they don't know how valuable they are. They don't know.
I believe that. I remember, and some of you may remember this, they were showing a video, I saw it on Facebook and on television too, of little black girls choosing which doll was the pretty doll.
Right.
That hurt me.
Right.
I mean, that hurt. I was like, for her to look at a doll that looks like her.
And don't accept it.
That I was like, we got to change a lot of things about how not only do we speak to our kids, but to each other. Something I've told mothers before that they don't get. I said, stop speaking so negatively about yourself in front of your daughter.
You can't do it.
You can't do it. You're always talking about how you too fat or my hair, all this other stuff. And she thinking, well, I look just like her.
Right.
And so if she ain't cute,
then
I ain't cute.
Right.
And I remember I said it to a mother, and she was like, she started crying. She's like, I never thought about that.
Yes.
She said, I'm always telling my daughter, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, beautiful.
Right.
She said, and she's struggling with her self-image. She said, but I'm always putting myself down. She said, I never put the two together. I'm like, it matters.
It does.
It matters a lot.
My oldest two daughters, they have very great self-esteem, and it comes from, not me being prideful, but me always being positive about myself and them. That way, when they got older and they went to high school, they would tell me, the boys would say, oh, you cute. They say, I know, my mom told me.
Yes.
first time they've
It's
heard
not the
it.
first time they've heard it.
You know,
It makes all the
it
difference
makes
in the
all
world.
the difference in the world.
I love it. Well, Lisa, you keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing some amazing things. This conversation especially needs to be had because, like I said, I hear it all the time. I pick up on it so quickly when I hear parents say stuff. I'm the kind of parent that will stop in the store and be like, girl, she is so beautiful. After I just heard the parent say, you look just like your daddy. Girl, she is so cute, you know.
That's great, though.
Exactly, because
That's
we
great.
don't. A lot of people don't even recognize the power your words have,
They don't.
and how they stick in someone's heart long after you said
Life
them.
and death
Yes.
is in the power of our tongue.
Well, tell our audience where they can get your book.
Well, you can get my book on Amazon. You also can go to my website. It is www.lisamhollis.com. Also, you can find me on Instagram, KTRM4. And also, you can also reach out on Facebook. And on Facebook, I'm just Lisa Hollis. I'll come to your schools. I'll come to your churches. I'll come wherever you need me to come.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. You're really not going to go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. We'll bring
Okay.
the other three back, and we'll close out the show together.
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome. You're live here at Regina Sunshine on the Regina Sunshine Show. Yes, where? Regina Sunshine Global Network.
He daylights sun rays when his guitar blazed to expose those who try to destroy dreams. They was like he sings, but we can't say he's an MC. He MCs, but we can't say he's a singer. Oh, and he plucks strings like he's in the dreams of gods. They try to box him up, but you can't contain passion. You can't pour a cup of water to put out the sun. Sorry he don't fit your mold. He's too hot to fit your cold. You ain't gotta sign him to your deal. He just learned how to flow with the signs. Aquarius. Find a balance. Libra. Get rid of y'all's crab mentality. Cancer. Each guitar strum is chemo to y'all diseased way of thinking. So don't you ever stop. Don't you ever stop. Never stop. So they'll never have to ask, who is JJ Day?
It's time.
Oh yeah, 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 oh yeah. Turn up. See, I'm grown without enough patience. Damn, I should have done blown up these.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show on Regina Sunshine Global Network. And if you watch the show, you know, if you hadn't been inspired, if you hadn't been blessed today, I need you to go on and just stop and go and get your prayer closet right now. Because you need it right now. But, you know, I like to end the show giving our guests an opportunity to share a word of encouragement with our audience. And so I normally ask a question that everyone will answer. And this is to the women that are watching. Each of you have stepped out in faith to do some things that I know sometimes in the physical don't always look, right? All of the Regina Sunshine made no sense in the physical when I did this, okay? I was the only show out here by myself, and I kept saying, Jesus, where the people at? Where them people at? But you have to be able to trust God and move where he tells you to move. So if there's a woman watching and she's got this idea, this book, this business, maybe she wants to run for public office, something in her heart that she knows she should be doing, but maybe she's allowing fear and doubt or even people's opinions of her to stop her. What would you say to her, Michelle?
Well, you come to me first.
Yes.
Although we all, and Lisa, I do consider you an educator.
Yes.
As you explained the purpose of your book, you're educating and building up little girls.
I was thinking the same
You
thing.
are an educator.
Thank
So
you.
we're 4 educators here. But I'm the only one that hasn't presented a book. And so I was saying to them that I have 2 books and a half of another book written that I haven't. I've been.
It's
sitting on.
time.
So I see God. I'm like, okay. So there are some things that I've done, and I have done all of them by faith. not with anything in my hands that looked like I should be running for office. That's another testimony for me to share regarding how it all came together and what was going on in my life. But I literally stepped out on faith with absolutely nothing. I feel like if God has shared a vision with you and is putting, God will confirm, you know, what you are to do and how you're supposed to do it. Step out and just do it. You know, it looks crazy. People might tell you you can't do it and all of that. You don't have the finances or any of that. But do it and watch God work as you go. As the lepers went, they were healed.
Yes.
As you go, God's going to supply and give you every single thing you need. Even when it doesn't look like it. That little bit can turn into much. Like the woman pouring out the oil. She just kept pouring.
Preach.
Girl.
That's it.
Gotta run around the room. Jesus. Jesus.
Amen.
Miss Gilbert. Dr. Gilbert.
I would just like to say, for those of you who are going through now or have experienced any type of loss or change recently or way back when, and you still feel stuck, know that you're not alone. Dig deep. If you would like to write a book or even be a motivational speaker, know that you're someone else's testimony. Most of us are our mentors. We latch on to people who are where we strive to be. So whatever entity you want to adventure in, latch on to someone who's made strides, who can show receipts, as some people say.
Yes.
And let that person guide you instead of you being in your feelings, because you don't know unless you get out of your own way.
Yeah.
You know, so I would say, for those of you who feel stuck, find that coach, that mentor in that area you would like to adventure in, and sit down and talk with them. And if you see any type of insight that they're giving that is adding value, ask them if they wouldn't mind being your coach or mentor. All of us need one.
Yes.
We can't do this alone.
Yes. I echo that. My life changed when Lanita Mitchell Blackwell walked into my life.
I met with her 2 years ago.
You did?
I have 2 pages of notes she told me to do. I
Honey,
only executed like 3 of them.
get back to it.
Yes.
And I'll say this real quick. When I
Yes.
first met her, I'm used to being the boss in every situation. And when I met Lanita at first, I would not submit. I would not submit. She told me to do something, I'd be like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And she had a big girl come to Jesus meeting with me. And she said, Regina, who's more successful, me or you?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You. She said, who is already doing some of the things that you strive to do? You. She said, who did the God, you tell me God divinely sent to you to help you? I said, you. She said, well, I need you to put your big girl panties on. She does her exact words to me, and do what I'm asking you to do. And when I committed, and I told her, this is what she holds over my head to get me to do stuff, Lisa. I came to her, I said, whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to do it. I don't have to like it. I said, it don't have to make sense to me, but I'll do it. And my entire life changed.
I know that's right.
Because I submitted. Because I knew God sent her to me. What sense does it make? You know God sent somebody to you and you don't listen.
Right.
I was just being hard-headed and stubborn and rebellious. Let's be real. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Talk about myself. Yes. Miss Joseph.
I think anything that we do as Black women, we have to support each other.
Yes.
And for me, to say to you, to empower you, is be your own change agent. You know, the change agent of your life. If real change hurt, real change is uncomfortable. And sometimes we get so bogged down in our own feelings of what we want and what we think is best for us that we don't receive the change that is coming. So sometimes we have to be our own steward of change. So
I love that. Thank you. Lisa Hollis.
Okay. So I would say, first of all, you must decide, is this a good thing or a God thing?
Woo.
Because if it's a good thing, it may go okay. But if it's a God thing, then he's going to order your steps, because that's what his word tells us he's going to do for us. So after you know that this is a God thing, make sure you do what he say when he say it and how to do it. Because a lot of times, like you said, we get on our own way. We're our own enemy. So make sure when God tells you to do it, just do it.
Was those not your words to me earlier today, Christine? Y'all couldn't, God done sent y'all in here just stirring all kinds of stuff up inside of me today. I thank y'all so much for being here, for being so open and transparent. I know people's lives have been changed. I tell people all the time that this is not just about a show. I recognize God has given me this platform for it to be a divine appointment for not only the people in the room, but for the people who are listening, so that they can get what they need, so they can get out of their own way and do what he's called them to do. So I thank y'all for being a part of the change today. To my audience, I leave you with the words I always leave you with. Remember this: God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life. Make sure you guys tune in next week. It'll be our once a month Living Like a Boss men's show. Well, I won't be on camera. All the guys will be here. It used to be me plus 5 male co-hosts, and I have slowly found a way to edge myself out. They didn't want me to, but I was like, men need to be able to have those conversations with just men. And this will be our last men's show here. After that, the men's show will be moving to the Andrew and Walter Young YMCA, where we'll be having real talk conversations with our young men live on the air. We're really excited about that opportunity. So make sure you tune in again next week, same time. My final words for the day, well, my sponsor. Shout out to Lanita Mitchell Blackwell, Leading Through Living, Bold Favorite Magazine, and again to Terry Searcy with Studio T. Thank you for the opportunity to do what I love on a daily basis here in Studio T. Parting words, my final words, my personal motto, I always say it's not over till I win. If I hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. So I tell you today, it's not over till you win. If you hadn't won yet, baby, that just means it's not over. Be blessed. Keep winning. We're out.